All right. Live on YouTube. Behind schedule as usual. Just want to make sure that I'm actually keeping track of what's going on. TikTok Studio now. Fab Coding 101. TikTok Studio. Okay, let's where are you take this? Okay, so we are officially live on both platforms. Hopefully we'll start seeing people trickling in soon enough. So many things to get done. I haven't been in my community in ages. I got a ton of messages. I'm going to mute all of the insane amount of messages. None of them from my. Look at this. Yeah, I want to mute everybody. Except for this guy. No sound detected. Interesting. Testing 1, 2, testing. This is a microphone test. We got sound on TikTok. Yeah, we got sound on TikTok. Live view post your live highlights so you can reach more people. Da, da, da. No, don't want to do any of that stuff. All right. One of the things that you have to learn how to do is multitask when you're going live on all these different platforms, because I will say it is a challenge jumping on all these different platforms and managing all the streams and everything else. Okay, so we're live on both YouTube and on TikTok. So welcome if you're new here. I'm sweating because my light is hot. It's cold outside, but I'm still sweating. Okay, so I got a couple of agenda things that I want to talk about today. I want to share some of my experiences about building my own startup, vibe coding my application. I have a startup that is called SnapSuite. I want to talk about that just to give you some idea of the price points that we're charging at this particular product. It's 350, 550, and 950 per month. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about my other startup, leadscore.ai, and what I'm doing there. And then I want to talk about my new S startup because I got too many of them. Affordly. This is my first venture into the consumer app space, which is a mobile app that allows you to keep track of your personal finances, etc. That sort of deal. So those are kind of the things that I'm going to talk about. But I'm going to do two things. I'm going to talk about it from a business standpoint, kind of a high level, give you sort of an overview of some of the challenges that I'm experiencing in building these multiple different platforms and products, some of the issues I'm experiencing with like customers and that sort of thing. And then the way that I'm kind of rethinking how to build more startups. So I want this goal this year that I want to build like 7 different products, and I have them all on my whiteboard here. I want to build a social media platform. I want to build a tax filing platform because that's something that's bothering me quite a bit. I feel like tax filing is broken. So my goal is to kind of just have a general conversation today about some of the challenges that I've just been having with building all of these different platforms. But I'm going to do it in 2 parts. One is I'm going to talk about the challenges, but 2, I'm going to kind of educate you guys on the product so you understand that these apps are, well, the newer ones are not, but the 2 biggest ones, which is SnapSuite and LeadScore, they're not baby apps. You know, they're not like vibe coded in a weekend type apps. They're not apps that I just like randomly came up with and just sort of started doing something with. They're like real, not just production apps, but it's taken me years to acquire the knowledge, to figure out the challenges, to figure out what I need to do in order to scale some of these things. So that's what I want to talk about in this particular case. And I just want to share my experience about this because the truth is there's kind of a bunch of hidden stuff about running a startup and running a business that people don't really talk about too much. And it's kind of sad because there's lots of people that start great ideas and they're all excited about it and then they just don't finish it and they don't know why, or they silently don't finish it. And so what we're going to do in this video is we're going to talk about some of those deep issues, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the architecture as well too. There's some architectural challenges that I've been through with some of these apps, and then what to do if you have like multiple different platforms that you're building out for, how to think about the architecture in layers so that you can benefit from like not having to replicate the same set of stuff over and over. So with that, that's basically sort of like the general overview what we're going to start to talk about. You guys are in the chat. Feel free to ask me any questions about any single thing that you're questioning. Like I said, we're going to be doing a little bit of vibe coding, talk a little bit of business, a little bit of sales, a little bit of like therapy, if you will. We're gonna be mixing it up a little bit today, talking about quite a few different things. But if you're up for it and you got questions, let me know in the chat, and we're gonna get started. And by the way, just for the people that are new here, don't know who I am, never heard of me before, I've been an entrepreneur for about 20 years, building .NET applications. Started out as a web designer, and then moved away to programming, and then moved away to learn database, and now an architect, and then I did product management for a bit. So I have kind of a very vast experience in the world of software, and I've run my own startup for the last 15 years now, maybe a little longer than that. I've had multiple different other forms, but the newest iteration of my product, 15 years, SnapSuite has been around for a while. So I've gone through the ups and downs of building a really large scalable product and the challenge that comes with it altogether. Actually, you know what? I forgot to update my vibe coding community. thing. So you know what? This is a good opportunity to talk about this vibe coding community that I have here. So let me tell you a little bit about this community. I haven't been doing a good job of updating my school community. I'm going to be honest with that. It's been a little bit hot, rough, kind of managing things. But let me just tell you about it. So, like I said, for the people that are new here, don't know any single thing about me. I am Dwayne, and I have a school community. It's called Vibe Code to Profit. Matter of fact, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. It's called Dwayne.school.me. Sorry, it's called Dwayne.me/school, and it's a free community. You're free to join. And in here, I talk about things like Cloudflare. If you come over here to my school, you'll see things like Cloudflare, Foundations 101. If you're like brand new to like building stuff online, how to use Cloudflare essentials, and then I walk you through sort of like a 7-day challenge on how to like start from like absolute zero to building an actual business. So this is an example of that. This app I built in 4 days. I'm gonna actually show it live, but I actually built this app in 4 days from end to end, proper backend infrastructure, security in mind, and then I got my first 10 customers on it, all within the space of like a week. Okay, so I want to talk about how to think about building an app, setting it up, scaling it up, making sure that it's scalable, and then finding customers, which is something that's super important. Most developers, if you're a developer, you don't really have a good solid foundation on how you need to be thinking about building an app. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And this is going to be the mission so that we could share and learn about vibe coded apps. So, oh, I'm seeing the people tap in on the screen in TikTok. So yes, thank you for that, by the way. If you're liking this content, feel free to give me a heart, and same thing for YouTube as well too. So okay, so let me just share about the vibe coding community. I did it already, but I just want to just highlight something. One of the missions that I have personally with the vibe coding community is to allow people to kind of have like a space where they could talk real technical. Honestly, there's quite a few groups on this platform about vibe coding, but the truth is that I feel like it's just a bunch of fluff and they're trying to sell you something right away. And I'm not trying to do that. What I'm trying to do is basically find people that are having challenges, serious business challenges, show you how to scale, show you how to work through those issues because I've been through them. And then from there, if you want like deeper, one-on-one consultation or that kind of stuff, then we could talk about that separately. But basically the goal is just to give you a proper place where you can come and you can learn like real architecture at scale. Because any single thing that I'm building, the goal is that number one is that the response time must be 500 milliseconds or less. That's number one. And number two is that you need to be able to scale out to at least 1 million requests per month, not necessarily per day or any single thing, but at least per month. You need to scale out and have your application hold up properly without a glitch. Okay. So if you want to learn about real architecture and real challenges around scaling, then this is a community for you. Feel free to join. I have one member coming. We got about 90 members inside of there. So we're slowly growing. Like I said, I'll be the first to admit I haven't been the best steward in the last week or so updating it, but come learn about some stuff. Okay, so let me just give you sort of an overview of the companies first before I dive into the actual challenges and problems and things that I want to talk about today. So SnapSuite, this is the and I'm showing you a real world project here. I'm going to route to this customer thing and I'm going to log into a demo app here. But I want to show you guys a real world actual app. This is not a fake app. This is not a fake, this sort of vibe coded test app. This is a real world production app with lots of complexities and lots of details. And I won't bore you on the specifics of how the app works. I'm just going to basically give you an overview so that you understand my sort of technical capabilities and knowledge. And just to be clear, I built this not by myself. I actually have about 13 developers that have been working on this app, and they're now kind of not with me anymore because I've changed my business model and now I vibe code every single thing. Okay, but I didn't build this from the get-go with vibe coded. This was not a vibe coded app. This was a real world production app with real developers, 13 of them. And then now I vibe code everything today. In fact, the speed at which I'm going, I'm replacing all of those developers. Okay, so Yeah, so this app here is a construction management app. So think project management for HVAC, plumbers, electrical companies, and stuff. And again, my goal is not to sell you this app, and I'm not selling you the app. I'm just kind of sharing you, give you some ideas about how it works. There's a board where you could drag and drop jobs. So all the new jobs, scheduled jobs, in progress jobs. You could click on it and you could see the details of the job itself. You can come in here, you can create an invoice. You can print a document. There's a whole system in the background that allows you to generate PDFs on the fly by using Microsoft Word, etc. So there's a lot of complexities inside of here. So it's taking a little bit of time because it's actually spinning up an Azure a container in the cloud, and then basically allowing you to print documents, etc. So it might take a second or two. So yeah, we won't wait for that. But just to give you an idea, then you see here you got email. You could email out clients, etc. So the full system. Okay, there's even a calendar system inside of here. So like I said, lots of complexity. So again, I'm not showing you this to brag. I'm showing you this to let you understand that the things that we're going to be talking about are deep knowledge problems that I've personally experienced as an entrepreneur. I've personally experienced as a business owner. So the biggest thing, actually, that brings me to lesson number one. The biggest challenge that I run into with this application, first challenge that I ran into was the fact that I tried to scale it up. Okay, and we had a whole bunch of customers coming in. We had a whole bunch of users using the platform, and the truth is that the platform just would not work. All kinds of problems, all kinds of bugs, all kinds of issues. I see somebody in the chat just asked me for the link, so let me just drop that inside of there. And I'm going to drop it in right now, sir. There we go. Thank you for asking, Mr. Badder. So the good news is that one of the challenge that I've had is, like I said, couldn't figure out how to. First of all, we couldn't figure out how to sell. That was the first thing. Couldn't figure out how to sell. And then secondly, no problem, man. Appreciate you asking for the link as well too. Join the community. We could talk more in there. So we had a bunch of customers coming in. We couldn't figure out how to sell at start, and then finally we figured out how to sell. We were getting about 25 customers per week signing up using this product, and the product just would not work. Like I was like screaming at my developers. I was trying to educate them. I was like, "Hey guys, you got to fix these problems. We got bugs everywhere." Like I got customers, willing to pay money. I'm closing deals left, right, and center, and the stupid app just would not work. And guess what happened? Guess what happened, guys? I don't have to tell you the entire story, but we just lost all the customers. Like I'm not making this up. We lost every single one of those customers. Okay. We got into about 20K in MRR, monthly recurring revenue, and we went to basically zero, like nothing. We've never been true zero, but more or less zero. Okay. And that was one of the hardest pains for me as a startup because it took a lot of effort and energy and time. And at that point, we hadn't raised any kind of real money. Like maybe I think we gotten like $30,000 or something like that, like nothing much. Which I'll talk about as well too, about raising money and how you need to think about that. So these were growing pains that we experienced with this company. So fast forward, without going into all the details, fast forward like years later, after building this product, I realized that the single most important thing, I want to stress this, the single most important thing that I did not figure out was how to consistently sell. Because I told you guys that we had a whole bunch of customers coming in and we were working on the product. But the truth is that we were basically just buying those leads and they were very expensive. We were paying about like $300 per lead or something. Okay, they were very expensive. On the cheap end, it was like $75 or $80 per lead. So that was not a sustainable model. So, but I figured out, fast forward a little bit later, and it's like, I have no idea how to actually sell to customers. Like, how do you, like, I knew how to build a product because I've been building products for a while. And the truth is, we just needed to fix the bugs that we had in the product. So there was nothing stopping me from getting a good solution. Well, other than money and having to pay developers to get working on it. But that's besides the point. The point is, I figured out that we had a product. What I hadn't figured out how to do was to sell this product consistently. And after years of struggling with this problem and then doing consulting, I worked with a consulting company for 2 years, teaching them and building a product, which I won't go into, and getting them from zero to basically to market. And one of the problems that the owner, which was also technical, had was he had no idea how to sell. In fact, he was so uncomfortable selling that he would be scared of picking up the phone and talking to a random stranger about his product. It's crazy. But that was a thing. That's a real thing that happened. So as a result of this frustration, I realized that I needed to learn some fundamental skills, like some pure fundamental skills that's going to teach me and educate me on how to actually scale up a business, how to actually, because it turns out that it's not about writing the code. Like anybody can write code. I mean, obviously you have to have some skills in order to write it, but the truth is with AI now, anybody can write code. It turns out that the hardest thing to do is selling the product. And if you went to Reddit, I don't know if I could find one, but if you went to Reddit right now, and I got a bunch of subgroups that I'm normally in, um, they're all struggling with the same problem: how to sell their product, like how to get users for their products. Like it's see here, building a SaaS is hard, distribution is harder. What are you launching, right? This is just such a common thing that I promise you, if you went on Reddit and look at the SaaS groups or the vibe coding groups, you will see the same consistent thing over and over. Everybody's struggling to figure out how to sell. And I realized that this was a skill that I needed to learn how to do. And so as a result of that, I started focusing on it. I'm the type of person that if I don't know how to do something, I put all my energy into it. And I basically spent my time building this product here, Lead Score, right? Which is a whole lot of product, completely different from my market. And it was just primarily focused on basically helping a salesperson push deals through the pipeline. Now, there's still a lot of work to be done with this product, which is I've kind of scaled back on it a little bit. I'm using it internally for now until we get it right. But this was the single biggest thing that I've had with just like with running the company. Is like, how in the world do you actually get people to use the product? So I spent the time learning it, and it boils down to one thing. Just to get to the punchline here. My wife always tell me it take too long to get you the punchline, which is you literally just have to figure out how to find the people that are talking about the things that you care about or that your product is trying to solve. Okay, it's that simple. Now I know there's more complexity inside of there, but it's literally that simple. It's you literally have to just do that. The question is, where are these people talking? The answer is they're talking in Facebook groups, they're talking on Reddit, they're talking on Twitter, they're talking on LinkedIn. You just have to find them, and you have to be extremely good at being consistent in reaching out to them multiple times until they raise their hand and say yeah, or they say no, not interested. But that's the hard part of the game. And in my opinion, the tools that exist on the market that solves this problem are either way out of my budget or they're too complex and they just don't meet the requirements that I have. So I decided I'm going to take a stab at it. I'm going to build a tool that solves that problem. So that's why I built this second product. And as though that's not enough, this year here, literally, I mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. In 1 week, I vibe coded this entire application. I'm going to show it as well too. It's a app to help you track your personal expense and your budget for your family. The reason why I built it is because number one, I've been through every app on the market, almost all of them, and a lot of them are really great. But the problem that I had was they were all getting bought out by larger companies, and then they would just kill them, or they would just the product quality would degrade over time. And this became such a big issue for me that I decided I'm never going to use another budgeting app again. I'm just going to build my own. And so I did. And what I'm doing is now I'm launching it and teaching people how to launch an app. So that's why I built this product itself. But it's really just so that me and my wife don't have to use spreadsheets. That's the honest truth. It was like I'm sick of using another spreadsheet. I don't want to do it anymore. So we're building this app, and vibe coding and AI is allowing me to build at speed. So right. So like I said, I'm just kind of randomly just giving you some context so that I can share with you sort of like the real hard stories that I've had over the course of 15, 20 years building these apps and trying to get them out at scale. And if I'm being real with you and being honest, like I'm just now learning how to do this properly. Just learning. This week here, I probably launched more features than I ever had in my entire life for SnapSuite. One of the biggest thing I'm proud of, actually I'm pretty proud of this, I'm going to show it right away. So one of the things that I launched for SnapSuite was a status page. And you're like, oh, well, hoo, rah, rah, like it's just a status page kind of deal. This is not just any status page. I think this is one of the coolest status page, period. Okay. First of all, the status page is customized to the person that's logged in to them and the things that they care about. So if you're an operations manager, you care about your dashboard and your sales and whatever. And if you're a technician, you might care about the mobile app, etc. So that's number one. Second thing is that the dashboard is designed in such a way that it basically obviously monitors in the background. It tells you, hey, right now the dashboard is the speed is performance is average. Like it goes into granular details. It tells you this. Or it says, oh, the sales module is running pretty fast right now. Or it says the client module is running very fast. The mobile app, pretty fast right now. So if that's not cool enough, if the application goes into a really slow state, it automatically tells you, there's a bar that comes down at the bottom here, and it actually tells you, it's like, hey, there's some performance issues right now. We're working through it. Click here in the status dashboard thing. And then not only that, any single time it shows that dashboard to a user, it notifies me that that user is seeing the dashboard. Therefore, I could go in and inspect the traffic and figure out what's really going on and whatever. These are the things that nobody actually taught me how to do. The only reason that I end up spending so much time on this status page, as you want to call it, is because we've just been bombarded by customer support. Hey, the app is slow. Hey, we got this problem. Hey, there's this issues. Hey, how do you do this? Hey, like nonstop. And that sort of like challenge of keeping up with the support tickets and keeping up with the issues and just a like thing I'm gonna try to I'll pull it up just to think I'm gonna go into my email here. Just gotta be careful with privacy information, but I'm gonna go in just kind of show you just to let you understand. It just like the support tickets, they just keep coming and coming and coming. And this is the part that nobody tells you about when you build a startup. What are the things that you have to focus on? But if you don't get support right, you're done. Like you're done. Okay. So let me see. I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay. Here I could show you this. Right. So this is my support tickets. And if you look at this here, look at this. It's just tickets after tickets after tickets after tickets after tickets after tickets nonstop. Okay. And you need to have a very, very good systematic, streamlined way of being able to kind of manage the inflow of customer requests and problems and issues and stuff like that. Now, here's the catch to that. The problem is that if you actually spend all of your time focusing on tickets, you're going to be working in the business and not on the business. And what do I mean by that? Well, the bottom line is that if you're working in the business, you're basically just an employee just working on it. If you're working on the business, then you're working on how to transform the business. For me personally, because of all these tickets that have been coming in, we've been working in the business for so long that the truth is I kind of forgot how to sell. That's the honest truth. I literally, in the time that I've been working, fixing all of these support problems and issues and challenges and all that kind of stuff, I completely forgot how to sell. Fast forward to today, one of the biggest problems that we were getting was that the customers would send us a whole bunch of emails, right, of issues, and they wouldn't tell us the exact problem or the page that they're on, and then we'd have to like go email them back to figure that out or whatever. So I was like, you know what? Why don't we just make a bug button? So here, see this here, bug report button. When you click on it, it'll just automatically put in a screenshot of the page that you're on, and you could just type in one message, press the send button, and make it super, super easy for them to be able to for them to be able to send submit a report. And the funny thing is, the last couple of weeks is this was now working for a while. But I'm giving you guys this sort of like whirlwind tour of these things that nobody teaches you if you're like new to the world of startup, if you're new to the world of like building an app and some of the challenges that you go through. And like I said, again, for the people that are new here, that's why I built this community. I built this community specifically to try and help people with these set of problems that I've been experiencing and that I want to work through, um, and prevent other people from from going through those issues, right? Like so like I said, if you haven't joined already, join the community. I'm gonna stop talking about it, but it's I want to make sure that everybody understands that is the reason why this community was built to begin with. Okay, so who has any questions for me around AI or startup or anything of the sort? Um, if you get any questions for me, put it in the chat. Tell me what you're building. Who's on the chat? Who's on the live so far? New followers, 5 likes, 500 total views. You know what? I don't know who's on the actual chat itself, so it's kind of hard to think. But who? Okay, let's say who's a developer in here? Is anybody a developer? Just kind of curious. We got a small audience, but that doesn't matter. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a developer. I'm just curious. And then mention what you're working on. Okay, and while I'm waiting for some feedback, if any, I want to talk about right. Okay, so let me show you the app. I want to go talk about this app forwardly and just talk about it for a second. I'm going to talk about sort of like some of the challenges that I've had with it. Actually, I wouldn't describe them as challenges, but forwardly app. There we go. So let me tell you just a little bit background about why I built, not just why, sorry, not why I built it. I mentioned that already. The architecture of this app. So first of all, the app is started out and it still is a PWA app. It's coming to the App Store, but it's right now it's still a PWA. Okay, so that's for starters. So the question is, why did I use a PWA to build the app? And by PWA, if you don't know, it stands for Progressive Web App. So I'm going to say, I'm just going to start my simulator here. Start the simulator. Right, so this is a PWA. Okay, I'll show it in a second or once it actually loads up properly. But it's a PWA, actually here, affordly. Okay, so this is the PWA app. It has Google authentication login, so it's using BetterAuth to do the authentication. And once you log in, you know, you're able to obviously see your financials. It's a personal finance app, right? So it has all the standard stuff of personal finances. What you're looking at here is 100% vibe coded and 100% a progressive web app, meaning it's basically just a web page in a shell. Okay. Now, I don't believe in having 100% progressive web apps. I believe that to get to market fast, building a progressive web app makes sense. And that's exactly what I did with our SnapSuite app that I just relaunched recently, is we built it as a progressive web app first. However, over time, you do have to kind of trade that off and make some changes to it, you know. So what I actually did was, let me see if I can pull it up. I think it's still inside of here. Yeah, it's here. So here, oh, I have to run it too. So can you run my mobile app? Okay, we're gonna start it up. I'm gonna run it. So once it gets loaded, we're gonna load it up. Okay, are you there? Loaded in the wrong folder, of course. So while that takes a little bit of time to load, what I'm doing now is basically building a shell around the applications. When I say by a shell, I mean a React Native application that has a header, a footer, a side navigation, and then just the core inside pages will be a PWA app. This is kind of how Instagram works today. It's technically a PWA because it's kind of a web page kind of scrolling in the middle, right? But wrapped around an actual native shell. So I'm taking the same approach. There's some security challenges and some issues around that, but I'm taking basically the same approach in doing that. So let's see if we can get it up and running. Which one did you do? Did you do the mobile? Mobile app? Yes, on your iOS phone, scan the QR code or press I. Yeah, okay, press I. On iOS simulator, press I. Yeah, okay. iOS simulator, press I. Wait, what? Okay, here. There we go. It's loaded. Oh, reload maybe. Hang on. Let me just see if go home. There was a problem. Where's my terminal? I'm in the wrong terminal. No, it's not there either. Hang on a second. What's going on here? 1 second, guys. So copy this. Oh, it didn't actually run it. Sorry. I thought it actually ran it. There we go. Okay, it's going to run now. Yes, sure. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Dismiss. Go home. Go back over here. Oh, getting a bundle error. It's a real bundle issue, actually. Let me just fix that. Not certain why it's not loading, but I might have broken something in the process. But anyway, the point is that whenever it loads up, you'll see that it's an actual PWA shell, and that PWA it's a native app wrapped in a PWA. Now, I did it in React Native, not because I like React Native. I actually don't like React Native at all. Why not Claude Code? Good question. Jab code. So I am using Claude. I'm using Claude, just to be clear. This is Claude here. Okay. I'm actually using today, we're using Claude Opus 4.6, which, as you know, just dropped. Good question. I'm glad you asked it. I'm struggling to figure out a workflow with Claude Code that could allow me to review the code changes fast enough. So this is the key for me. I have Claude Code, just to be clear. But one of the problems that I'm finding is that it doesn't have a good commit tracking system, in my opinion. And I'm not able to kind of quickly scan over the changes that's happening as fast as I can with GitHub. So I've made two very specific choices. Number one is I really, really care about double checking the code that I'm committing. And number two is this is cheaper because Microsoft is subsidizing Claude Code. So I'm actually paying for the premium plan in GitHub Copilot using Claude, and I have never hit it in a rate limit. That's not true. I've hit in Copilot rate limit, but not necessarily Claude rate limit, which is obviously there's a little distinction there. But now that I've upgraded to the premium plan, which is I want to say I'm at $60 a month, something like that. The limitations that I've seen people complain with Claude, unless they're at a $200 a month plan, I don't have them, and that's because Microsoft is doing some subsidizing inside of there. But yeah, I like Claude Code. It's just specifically on the code review. I personally haven't been able to figure out a workflow, and I think honestly, just because I'm just really accustomed to this workflow of like making changes and kind of reviewing it in this way, the Cloudflare model. But I'm curious, like, what's your take on it? Is like, do you have the same experience? How are you managing like a large code base, right? And by large code base, just to give you an idea, this app here, not this one, but the one that I actually natively work on a regular day-to-day basis, is approaching about 1 million lines of code. Not super large, but large enough for a one-man person, right? One-man person team. So yeah, like I have a mono repo that has containers, functions, Cloudflare workers, which is my go-to, all the internal apps, etc., which is a lot, by the way, like a lot of internal apps. and I just found it to be more efficient and accurate compared to GitHub. Yeah, so that's interesting. So, you know, GitHub is doing some filtering. There's definitely no question about it. Limit sucks, but the quality has been a lot better in my opinion. Yeah. So you know what? That's probably the part that I can't say too much about. I'm kind of making the assumption that the cloud that I'm getting here is the cloud that I'm getting the real cloud, but that's not true, obviously, because GitHub Copilot has their own kind of filtering mechanism on it. Um, what I will say is that I jump between, so 90% of my days is spent on front end right now. Okay, so I do a lot of front end stuff. However, I'm also a C sharp developer as well too. So I haven't found um, a tooling system that could do C sharp code better than the Microsoft tools. So that's kind of my problem as well too. And I'm jumping between the front end and the back end in a mono repo, and a lot of it is C sharp code. So what I find is when I'm in the GitHub Cloud world, um, the code, like the code changes make too many build errors inside of like if I'm doing like a front end and a back end change at the same time. I ended up sometimes with too many build errors and my builds fails, right? So what I've been doing to circumvent that is I have another computer. I'll pull it up over here just to show you. It's a great question, by the way, because I'm actually always curious about how other people are solving these problems. Um, so I have, look at this. So I have Visual Studio grown up, not VS Code here. We're talking like the OG Visual Studio, okay, which is where my heavy lifting of my backend code is. And this here, I use Copilot in here, and I need the same level of consistency between the two, if that kind of makes sense. Now, I know that I could use put point cloud code to this, but the point is, this will write the code, and then it will also build the code, and then it will write the code and build the code independent, like consistently. And Visual Studio will still catch errors that the LLMs are not catching, and the feedback loop to push that back, those errors back into the AI system has been phenomenal for me. So I'm a little biased because I'm kind of sitting on the Microsoft stack on the back end, and that's been sort of the thing. But this is a very, very interesting question that you asked me, because you know, you kind of towing the line. It depends on what you're working on, right? um that being said, though, I am experimenting with uh these tools are underrated. What are they called? The JetBrain tools. They're very, very underrated. Um, yeah, so they have an IDE for everything now, right? Like they have an IDE for C sharp, for C++, for .NET, for thing, and it's a completely underrated. What I haven't done is use it with AI yet. So that's the kind of the caveat there. Let me see. Having a centralized Claude MD according to your repo helps, and you can use multiple instances of the CC. 100%. Yes, 100%. I got all of that taken care of. So just to show you, since we're comparing notes, I appreciate this conversation, by the way, because I haven't been putting out videos about this, but I plan to soon. So here's how I got my structure set up, and you could tell me how you're doing yours differently. So, like Claude has a Claude.md file. In the GitHub world, it's a GitHub Copilot file. Same difference, really. So at the very, very root of the entire repo, I have a GitHub Copilot instructions file. However, actually, hang on, which project is this? Sorry, I'm on the wrong project here. Here. So yeah, at the very, very root of the project, I have, and let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger so you might be able to see. Um, yeah, so the very, very root. See, I do have a Claude instruction, but the Claude instruction basically just kind of points you to the GitHub file, okay? Because I do use Claude sometimes. But um, the GitHub Copilot instructions file is really a reference to my documentation. I have this docs folder that has a folder for every single project that has the documentation for every single app, right? And then in there, that's what I'm using to then link up to each, to the master GitHub Copilot instructions, or AKA Claude. And then from there, I do document, then I use it as a reference for each individual. So that's kind of how I got it set up, which is pretty similar to Yeah, I claimed the pro version for free since I'm a student. Oh, lucky you, buddy. Lucky you, lucky you. That must be nice. Whereabouts are you going to school, by the way? I'm curious. Where from? Whereabouts are you? Are you in the world? Are you? So yeah. Anyway, so while he's sending that question, this is a consistent conversation that keeps going on and on, right? About like how do you structure this thing in a way that makes sense? It took me a really long time to get off of the idea of having separate repos for my application. Like it took me a real time. Oh, you're in Canada. Oh, welcome. I'm in Canada as well too. I'm in I normally would say Toronto, but since you're in Canada, I'll tell you Oakville, which is just outside of Toronto. So hey, fellow Canadian, good to see you. Glad to meet you. Winnipeg here. Oh, not oh brutal. Okay, I don't say no more. Okay, you deserve a vacation just by your location. Period. That's all I'll say. So anyway, welcome. I'm glad to meet you. Nice to see you. And like I said, if you haven't already, join my community. If you're new and thing for anybody else as well to join the community, let me just drop the link again in the chat just in case. DWAIN it says Dwayne.me/school. That's the shortened link. It'll take you to the Vibe Coding community. 100% free, as I mentioned. It's really just me trying to build a place where we could kind of share knowledge back and forth. Oh, you're waiting on the journalist. Okay, cool. I'll definitely approve you for sure. Samir, yeah, no, good. I'm glad to hear about that. Um, but yeah, thank you for joining. There's about 90 people in there, and feel free to come in and share about the projects that you're working on, etc. It's been a little bit quiet in there, to be honest with you, because I've been so deep in focus. Let me just show you guys this. By the way, if you're not using this, I'm ranting now, okay? I'm just talking about stuff that's going on. If you guys are not using this to keep track of your time, you're wasting time, okay? I'm saying this very, very opinionated. Okay, I've been using this tool. It's called Rescue Time. It's free, and I swear I moved up to the paid plan. I was using the paid plan for a bit, and I downgraded back to the free plan. I've been on free plan since 2008. Okay, long before you guys were even born. All right. Um, to keep track of my productivity on the computer because I'm always all over the place. I do all kinds of crazy things. Okay. Um, and sorry, it shows maintenance. What shows maintenance, Mr. Encrypt? Explain that a little bit more. I'm not following. Um, oh, the link. Oh, hang on. Wait, what? Twain.me/school. Let me just make sure that's the right. Well, hang on. It leads to this here, but let me just. I now you got me. Yes, maybe I've sent you the wrong link. Hang on. Let me paste, copy, and let me just open up in a new incognito window just to test it. Yeah, okay, that should work. Yeah. Okay, try this now. Let me see. Try that and see. That should get you there. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that. I might have just copied something by I started with DeepSeek. Give me neat results with VB code, and I'm exploring VB code. Wow, hey, you're a brave man, Mr. Samir. I haven't touched VB code in a really, really long time, but hey, whatever works. That's the key. You know what I'll tell you? Okay, this is a startup environment, so we talk startup things around here. No customer ever cared about what code is being written to solve their problem. None. There's not a thing. Like it's only developers. I was like, oh, VB. Oh, yes. Oh, why are you writing in VB? You should use Go. And then the Go people, then the C sharp people. Why would you want to write in Go? Like C sharp has every single thing. And then the Python people will be like, no, Python is weird. Like nobody cares. Okay, if your customers are actually getting results, nobody cares. If the business is making money, nobody cares. It's the reason why really, really large companies have crappy products and they're still printing money and they just move on like the world is they don't care, right? Like it's a real thing. Oh wow, I had to deal with VB at work. Never seen it in my life. That's too funny. 44 years mine here. Yeah. You guys are too funny. That's hilarious. But you listen, Microsoft Access beyond my comprehension. Yes. So hey, good talk about Microsoft Access. Okay, we're jumping all over the place here, but we'll talk for a bit and then we'll jump back on track. Um, I my first application that I ever built was in Microsoft Access, Access 2000, by the way, just to give you an idea of how old I am here. Okay, and it was I was building a tracking system for airline company back then, and that was my first business trip ever. Actually, fun fact for you, fun story for you. Well, not so much fun, but my first business trip ever was going from so I'm from Antigua originally in the Caribbean, and I was going from Antigua over to Dominica, which is about maybe about an hour 45 minutes trip by plane, small plane. And that day when I landed in Dominica and I was doing all this stuff, I was like quote unquote the genius. I wasn't, but everybody thought that I was. Right? All I did was read the book and just did exactly what the book said, but people thought I was a genius. So whatever. Um, Everybody normally was like huddled around me, and then all of a sudden around like 11 o'clock they all were huddled around the TV, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, these people are not giving me any attention anymore. And it turns out that that was the day that 9/11 happened, 911. You know, everybody, if you're old enough, you remember where you were at 911, and that was my story. And I remember having to come fly back to Antigua the same day, and while flying back, some guy got up to use the bathroom, and I swear I could have crapped my pants that day because I was so scared that he was gonna take over the plane. Like I was just terrified. Okay, and yeah, so this was one of those things. But I was just like literally crapping my pants. So yeah, that was my 9/11 experience. I was like, who's literally who's blowing up Antigua, little old Antigua, right? But whatever. You never say never, okay? But yeah, anyway, for anybody old enough that remember 911, I just thought I'd share that. It's just one of those things. Everybody that was old enough that knows 911 remembers where they were. So yeah. Anyway, I give you all that random backstory, and thank you guys for engaging me in the chat. It's probably been the most fun I've had in a while. I mean, we're a small group, as you can see. We're just growing here, but I appreciate just the conversation and things. So let's just kind of get back on track and kind of talk a little bit about sort of like the business and sort of things. So what is like for people that are new? Like I said, my goal here is really just to share and pass on the knowledge and the experience that I've had over the years and distill it down to a way where you can build something and make money from it super fast. Okay. Um, and then give as much value as I possibly can for free. And then at some point in the future, when you get big enough, maybe you'll come work with me, or maybe we'll do something together as partnership, or maybe we'll scale the company together, whatever it is, right? Or maybe you'll just, hire me for consulting, whatever you want to do. Like that's my goal. But my mission is really to just give away as much value as I could possibly can for free. In fact, I've been beating myself up lately because I haven't been focused on the community much. I've been focusing on my work, which is what I was talking about before I got sidetracked. Um, hey, how are you doing? How are you? I'm doing great, my friend. I'm doing great. How are you doing? Is probably the bigger question. But so going back to this, okay? I'm sharing you this because I want to tell you, if you guys are sitting behind a computer, go to rescuetime.com. I have no affiliation with these people, by the way. Go to Rescue Time and download this app and put it on your computer, okay? It's by far the best app I've ever done. So why am I telling you this? Because I'm just going to show you my schedule. So today I've done 7 hours so far, okay? Yesterday, let's see, I haven't looked at my time. Yesterday I did 13 hours. I'm a little bit behind because I haven't been working that much yesterday. But it shows me how much productivity was in software development and how much was focused on business versus how much was focused on learning versus on categorize or on productive versus entertainment. It does not track entertainment like it literally tracks your mouse down to the key, like to the millisecond. Okay, the day before that, look at this. I'm not making this up. Okay, 11 hours. Okay, so I did 11 hours. That was on Wednesday. Day before that, I did 15 hours of just pure programming. Okay, I've just been non-stop program, 90% productivity. Day before that, I did 16 hours. I've just been on a roll, guys. I've just been like just laser focused on code. And I'm showing you this not to brag or any single thing that I'm just like a workaholic. I'm showing you to see Sunday. So Sunday I started 16 hours, Monday 16 hours again, Tuesday 15 hours, like just non-stop working. I'm telling you guys this because I've been laser focused on revamping my startup and making it a true like so if I had to evaluate my customers right now, they use our product because they have to use it, and I want to change that to them loving our products. And so that's why I've been just laser focused on eliminating every single complaint that our customers have had, because the truth is that's what it's going to take for you if you're running a business to get to the next level. Okay, you got to make your customers love your product, right? Think Apple here, like where people just like you just have like a cult following, right? um so yeah, so that's the reason why I've just been laser focused on it. And the truth is, as a result of that, I've been kind of slacking off and focusing on the community. But I'm in there, I'm watching, I'm paying attention. So you guys come in there, you drop your questions or whatever, I'll answer them for sure, and I'll share things. Is it open source? Which one? Oh, Rescue Time. um no, Rescue Time is not open source. It's actually a private company, but it's the okay. Here's how I'll describe it. This app has been around since definitely about 20 years now, or probably something like that. And it I think the guy that runs it, like, it's like a multimillionaire already, and he built this for him. And then I think they shared the data, like the actual they shared anonymous results to do studies for like enterprise level companies to show productivity type stuff. But I think that's as far as it goes because it's always been free. And I think now, I want to believe, I'm guessing somebody bought it, because I start seeing more promotions and marketing and stuff like that. Generally speaking, when you see that, is because somebody bought it over and they want to start making more money from it. But unbelievably, it's been fantastic to use it. So you could come here, you could change your daily, just to let you guys understand how much I'm a believer in this tool. So see, for the week, I've done 80 hours for the week. And this is not working. I just want to be clear. This is pure computer time. Like, if I don't touch the mouse, it does not record. Okay. But look at this. Come down to the bottom here. And again, I'm not affiliated with these guys in any single thing. Okay. Total time logged. This is it. Just to let you guys know that I'm like hardcore user of this tool. Okay. 42. What is that? 42,000 hours. Okay. Um, that's 4.86 years of just pure work. Okay. So this is how I track my life. I've been doing this since 2008. Right. So it's been a long time. Okay. Um, and then out of that logged hours, 23, half of that, basically 50% of it, was actual work itself. And then total personal distraction time. Like, look at this. Out of that 42 hours, I've spent 7,000 hours of being distracted. This is how, like, like the little small scrolling that you do on your phone just steals your time. Okay. So anybody that tells me that they don't have time to build a startup, I'm proof that you're wasting time. Okay. If this number doesn't scare you, I don't know what will. Okay. Yeah, like, it's a problem. Hang on, trying to keep up with the chat here. Nobody's chatting on YouTube. Please do. If you got any questions, message me in the chat. I'm gonna pay attention to it. But I'm seeing more chat on TikTok, so interesting. I have trust issues. Yeah, no, I listen. We all have trust issues, but I will swear by these guys. They've been solid to me. It doesn't use up any kind of resources on your computer and any kind of thing. Yeah, I just sent a screenshot of my desktop in local LLM to check for sensitivity into the pass. Okay, interesting. Um, then send GPT categorize a task and working on database front. Done. Where are you from? I'm from Canada. Originally from the Caribbean, but I'm in Canada. I'm located in Canada. So, and by the way, if you guys are getting some value, please double tap on the screen, because I got to do the whole TikTok sort of, thingy, whatever that means. Like the promotional type stuff. It's just how the algorithms work. But yes, no, please double tap on the screen for just kind of help me out a little bit for sure. I'm in the US for sure. So yes, so my point is that I'm jumping all over the place here, right? We're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about being an entrepreneur and some of the hidden challenges that you experience as an entrepreneur. I'm sharing with you guys some of the, my own personal stories as a business owner. And for those who are new, I have three different startups. I have a construction startup, construction project management tool. I got an app that basically focuses on sales to help you um, sell your own product, which is basically I built it for me, just to be clear, and then I just started selling it to other people. And then I built a budgeting tool that helps me with things. Do I use Cursor or Anti Gravity? Send me Toronto Jamaican fam. Same Toronto with Jamaican fam. Okay, got you. Okay, that's cool. Sorry, no, we having a hard time keeping up with the chat. This is a new problem for me. Hang on. So appreciate you. Hella's 900 Pro, where are you from? You answered that question. Yes, I did. Do you use Cursor Anti Gravity? Um, the answer is yes. I try every tool, almost every tool. I haven't been trying as many tools as possible because there's kind of a trap going on. Let me just talk about this question for a bit from Ham and Abby, right? Um, so here's the, okay, let me back up and say two things. When AI, like when the gold rush with AI started, ChatGPT came out, everybody went to the website. It was great. It was fantastic. And the minute I recognized that this thing can actually write code, um, I sat down and I literally copied and pasted 200. I wrote 200,000 lines of code. I rewrote my application that was 500,000 lines of code. I rewrote it with ChatGPT by copying and pasting code from from the chat into my code base IDE and basically program it from there. Okay, and I rebuilt my entire application because I saw an opportunity. Fast forward, things got a little bit more better, and obviously, as you know, the tools started coming down to the programming level where they're in VS Code and then Cursor and Windsor and Anti Gravity and Claude Code, and now there's Gemini Code and there's GitHub Copilot Code. Like it just goes on and on and on. Okay, so um, when that started happening, I tried all of them. I've been through all the different tools, View Cloud 2, Anti Gravity, Gemini, blah 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 kind of stuff and thing. And then I started realizing a couple things. The companies are racing to get your business. So everybody's like launching new stuff. ChatGPT launched something. Hey, Claude Opus launched yesterday, and ChatGPT launched 1 hour later. ChatGPT 3.5.3 Opus, right? Like it's that competitive. What I recognize for me is that I, as a startup founder, what I've been doing is I've been spending a lot of time just trying and using all the different tools. And I recognize that that was actually taken away from what I actually need to get done, which is the actual work of building my startup. So I just kind of stopped. The only reason I will explore a tool now is for my YouTube channel to basically try to talk about that kind of stuff. By the way, if you guys don't know, I got a YouTube channel. I'll drop the link in the chat as well too. But that's the only reason I use those tools now. The truth is, for the day-to-day work, I literally just use um, VS Code. And one of the commenter, I forgot who it was, but he mentioned that he used Claude because he likes it. It's better, it's cleaner, or whatever the case is. Whatever works for you. But for me, based on the amount of code that I go through and the amount of different repos that I'm working through, and the code, the amount that I have to review, I just find the review process, not necessarily the code, the review process specifically, to be really good with VS Code. Obviously, Cursor could do the exact same thing as well too. But I'm like, you know what? I'm comfortable with VS Code. I got all my stuff set up the way that I am. I'm fine with it. And now, after was it Sonnet 4? After Sonnet 4, I'm like, the AIs are so good right now that it's almost hard enough to indistinguish between the difference between the two of them. And so as a result, I'm like, you know what? Every single thing that comes out after this is just noise. I just need to be laser focused on code, and that's what I've been doing. So to answer your question, yes, I do use them, but my day-to-day driver, 90% of the time, is just VS Code, writing code nonstop. And only if I run into a real big problem or I need something on another computer, I might spin off Claude Code or something to go do that side by the side. Um, but that's kind of like my workflow. Hopefully, that kind of gives you some context of how I think about things because, um, and I can say for certainty that I had 10 developers working for me on SnapSuite. I could say with certainty that the work that I'm doing now, especially in the last week, 100% certain I've replaced those 10 developers. 100% in terms of like their in terms of productivity. No question about it, because we used to have so many meetings and so many different things and so like, and now at one for sure I'm thinking I'm like, as if I can maintain the workload of 10 developers consistently every single day for the next 6 months, like I'm untouchable. And I genuinely mean this. I am right now. I'm like, this whole idea of being going around with building a $1 billion solo business, and I'm like, you know what, I've signed me up. I'm there. So anyway, hopefully I answer your question. I forgot where is it. I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. We got too many people in the chat now. What's the next question here? Um, I may have to answer shorter because I'm losing. You guys are asking a whole bunch of questions really fast here. Okay, hang on a second. Okay, had to pick between watching you and Olympics. Oh well, I mean it's a no-brainer. I mean, come on, like I'm the best game in tongue right now. So I'm sorry that you're losing out to your Olympics there. How do you make how do you market Facebook ads? Oh, a complicated question. I'll answer it in the simplest way possible. Honestly, you literally just sign up for Facebook and you just use their wizard to just kind of guide you through the process. I wouldn't actually use Facebook ads though. I would use TikTok. I've gotten more better results by using TikTok right now. Right now, I'm still going to be using Facebook, by the way, because I'm going to be targeting a completely different market. So, what I'll say about this question here, if you have budget, like if you have a proper budget, Facebook ads will work, but you have to kind of use it. You have to put a certain amount of money because there's a percentage of Facebook leads that will come in that are bogus leads. Everybody knows this and everybody just basically accepts it. But if you put in, let me give you a real world example. If you're spending like $200 a month on ads on Facebook, like you're almost getting garbage. You might get one or two good leads, but that's like it's mostly garbage. You need to be, I would say, north of 500, 1,000, $2,000 a month minimum for you to start getting real results from Facebook. So that would be the caveat. If you don't have that kind of budget, do not do Facebook ads. Okay. Um, that being said, the thing that's been working for me is I've been posting on TikTok. I haven't done a lot of posting recently because I said I've been working like crazy. And what I've been doing is just boosting some of them. And that's like a $20 or in some cases you could do for like $10 or whatever. And that's been phenomenal. I've been surprised at how much the engagement has been coming in. The way how I do it is I post natural organic videos, and then the ones that kind of pop off a little bit, like let's say my average views, if you look at my channel, is like 200 views. So if I'm getting 200 views and one video gets 300, I'll pay TikTok to boost that one to get it to like 1,000 or 2,000 views or something like that. And if you notice on my channel, you'll see there's a couple of pinned ones that are like 20 or $30,000. That's what I did because one or two of them kind of popped off. So hopefully that answered your question about Facebook. Okay, trying to go through the chat here because else we're not going to get any work done today, guys. We're just going to get through the chat here. I do not switch. I do not switch often because it's a waste of time. I use Cloud Code with VS Code extensions. Yeah, see, same here. 100% in agreement. Like once you find something that works, stop jumping around. Stick to it and just run with it. Because again, no customer cares whether you use anti-gravity or Cloud Code or VS Code or any other code tool. All they care about is that you could deliver for them, and that's what you need to be focusing on for sure. The difference now is in the prompt. Yes, 100% agree with that. Okay, trying to keep up with the chat, and then we got to go talk about some real work here, guys. I personally tried to build my own app to sell, but but needs to be fast enough. Okay, if you're talking about fast enough from a performance standpoint, I code only in Python. Okay, this is a no-brainer. This is not a problem. Um, let me give you a 2 seconds way on how to solve that problem. When you say fast enough, um, so you're gonna have to. Here's what you're gonna have to do. You're gonna have to give up a little bit of control on your coding, okay? And that's coming from a guy that I'm a diehard C# person, right? C# all the way, and I hate React. Just so you understand what I'm about to tell you, okay? I don't like React. However, I'm a C# person by true trade. And Vue.js is my language. I did Angular in the olden days, but I stick on Vue.js. I love Vue.js. It's performant enough. It has enough ecosystem. It's good enough. It's way better, in my opinion, than React. However, React owns the market, owns the game. And only of recently, when I say recently, in the last month, I've just thrown a pan. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter anymore. The AI tools are so good now that it actually doesn't matter the language that you think, but it does matter to some degree what you do. So if you're doing the UI, go with React, nobody cares. But do the backend in the language that you're most comfortable with. So if you're comfortable with Python, do Python on the backend. So just to let you understand how to think about it, um, here is, let's say this is your front end. Uh, do it in React because the AIs are just really, really solid in React. Okay. Put Cloudflare. Okay, you're gonna hear me talk a lot about Cloudflare because Cloudflare is by far the cheapest thing. I haven't talked about Cloudflare a lot today, but it's $5 a month, by the way. Just to be clear, $5 a month. Let me just give you guys this for those who don't know. $5 a month for 100,000 requests per month. I think I'm even butchering that number. It's actually way more than that. I think that's the cheap plan. No, for 300,000 requests per month. Okay, you will not outdo this in no other platform. Okay, so use Cloudflare. Cloudflare will have either your D1 database for database storage, okay, or your KV store for caching. KV for caching, okay, and then on your backend you have Python, THON. So the minute your request comes out, you send it to Cloudflare. You let Cloudflare basically caches it. Thing. So your application will stay always super fast, super lean, super performant, and then you have a worker here that kind of goes back to Python on the back end to basically think. This you will scale this all day long. I guarantee you will not run out of ways to basically keep like scale is not going to be your problem. Getting your platform out to your customers will. Okay, moving forward. Jeez, Brad, there's so many people chatting today. Thank you, guys. First of all, thank you for everybody that's sitting in this chat, talking and asking questions. I'm trying to get through them slowly, but man, you guys are actually thinking. And for those who are just joining, I'm just gonna repeat it one more time here because like I'm sure there's new people here. Um, Join the school community and double tap the screen. But join the school community. I just dropped it the link inside of there, and we could talk and ask questions, etc. I appreciate all the comments. Okay, hang on. So do ask yourself. I only code in Python. Got that one already, and I use them to convert code to C. Oh wow, C++. Oh geez. Okay. Do not write C++ for front end stuff. And then tell me where you're building Ham and Abby, because I don't know where you're building. Where the fact that you have to get into C++ lab. That's crazy, Juan. Was speaking with AI production owner from Canada life, and he said that the exact same thing as you said. Okay, good to know. I don't remember what I said, but hopefully good. Is TikTok good for B2B? Did you try LinkedIn ads? My clients are mostly on LinkedIn. Good question. What type of clients do you have? The reality is, and you know this, it matters the platform. But here's what I'm going to say to you. TikTok is completely underrated and completely uh, what you call a blue ocean market for B2B on TikTok. You will be surprised at how many business you can get from TikTok itself. In fact, guys, we're having this conversation. This is not a B2C conversation. This is a B2B conversation. I'm talking to entrepreneurs and builders and business people, more or less, right? And where am I talking to them? On TikTok. So don't underestimate TikTok. It's one of the most underrated platforms because all of the B2B people, they literally they're headed like they're just old school. That's the only way to think about it, right? So it's like, oh no, you have to go to LinkedIn to promote. Well, I go ahead on LinkedIn, pay your $5,000 a month to do ads, and then come back and tell me when you get your one or two ads, right? You put $5,000 a month on TikTok, you're controlling the whole B2B space for whatever it is that you're in. I promise you that. Okay. Oh, you love React. Oh, okay. Okay. We're gonna have to have a talk, Mr. Hal 9000 Pro 1. I have 20K followers on YouTube and 15K on LinkedIn. Hopefully these are enough to get a few sales. What are you building, Ham and Abby? Tell me what you're building. I love React. I love my Vite. I'm just listen, Hal. I'm just playing with you, but uh, React is fine. Don't get me wrong. It's a good platform. The status, I didn't, I might have shown it to you, but I just want to show it again. Um, where is it? Here. Man, you guys got me busy today, man. I can't even like talk about any single thing that I was planning on chatting with. But I appreciate the chat and the conversation. This is why the internet is so amazing, right? You talk to random people and you just share stuff. This status page that I built, it's all React, and normally I would never do that because what I was doing, just to add to this, see, it has a whole status page and details and all this kind of stuff, uptime monitoring, all that kind of stuff, built 100% in React. What I was doing before, just to talk a little bit about reacting, is I was doing Google Stitch. You guys know Google Stitch, right? You see it. If you don't know Google Stitch, check it out. Really good platform. It's the place where I go for doing the like brainstorming ideas because I really like it. Okay. So these are the status page that that Google Stitch came up with. It's, think of it like Figma but HTML version kind of deal. And so it came up with a whole bunch of different status pages. What I love about the Google Stitch is I could just come here and I could just click on here and I could actually just, oh, sorry, this is just the image. I could come across here and I could click on this and I can actually just view code and I could get the HTML version, pure HTML. So if you're still kind of handcrafting code, this is still a really good way to go about doing things, which is like generate the UI, get the actual code, and then go into the actual thing and then do it from there. If you're doing like React components and stuff like that. That being said, though, there is an option here, see here, that you could do export, and you can export and send it straight into AI Studio and have it build the actual application. So this is by far one of my best ways to do things today. But for this status page, I ended up using Lovable because I do like Lovable still. I still use Lovable for front end stuff. And Lovable will not do any single thing but React. So for all of my sort of like supplementary projects, they're in React. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. It's fine. AI is good enough. It'll solve the problem. I don't really care. But if I'm like really meticulous and I'm going to go in there and do actual like writing code in addition to the AI, I'm on Vue 3 all day long. Well, no, Vue 4, Nux 4, right? So yeah, but you know, to each their own, right? React, sorry, I love my Vite React Node applications. Yes, I with you 100%. Listen, like I said, React is pretty good. Cool energy. Thanks for the live. Yeah, hey man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you just coming in and just hanging out. I appreciate that. So geez, which platform do you vibe code with? Okay, we answered this question before, but I'm gonna answer it again. So right now I'm using VS Code. That's my platform of choice for one reason. The review system, in my opinion, it kind of keeps up with my existing workflow. And I use VS Code, like not VS Code, Visual Studio, the daddy version, the grandfather, the OG, to write C# code on the back end. So I kind of need some more sophisticated build tools. And so as a result, I end up using things. So which platform? And check out ShadCN for UI. Yes, I'm using ShadCN on this project here. This project here is ShadCN. So it's not the best, but I wasn't looking for the best on this particular project. This was really just this was, just to be clear, by the way, this entire status dashboard was vibe coded in one night. And it's doing some complex things that honestly, I wish I have time to kind of go through in the back end stuff of this. Running 100% in Cloudflare, independent of my application, monitoring my application, auto reporting to my users. And if there's a real problem after like 3 or 4 attempts and it actually decides that yes, there actually is a real problem, it goes so far as to send me a notification in my Microsoft Teams. Yes, I know I still use Microsoft Teams, you know. But see here, I have a monitoring channel here. And then see here, see self-monitoring system restored. It tells me when it shows an alert for the user. This is a very different specific user. Oh shoot, I got email addresses in here. I can't keep this up for too long. But it tells me specifically because the users are in different parts of the world and not everybody experiences the same slowdown. So it's isolated for that specific user. And if it says detects a slow outage, it'll tell that user, hey, we're kind of running a little to some slow problems. And it'll notify me that this particular user in this particular region is having a problem. Therefore, I could hit issues really fast or figure out what's going on. So anyway, just thought I'd share that. Check out chat here, and yep, did that already. Which what is uh what sorry GERM? I realized a few days ago it works well. Um, this is this is a gem. All right, okay. Oh, with the probably with the thing. Sorry, trying to keep up with the chat here. Grammar quality. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. And hey, bro, I have developed an app to OTP stage, and it's not sending the code to my phone. So are you using Twilio for this? Man, you guys are asking a whole ton of questions. I appreciate you guys so much. I have an OTP app. This one here, m.snapsuite.io. It's a PWA right now, but is using OTP. If you are using OTP, Twilio has a service called Twilio Verify. Okay, it's Twilio. It deals with all of the delivery problems that you wouldn't have to deal with. So in other words, instead of actually sending out your own message, use Twilio Verify, and it'll deal with the country code problems. It'll deal with it, all kinds of stuff. Like it just solves a lot of problem. Twilio is expensive though. The question is, what kind of volume are you sending out? Okay, if you're sending out 10 SMS per month, like who cares? Okay, if you're sending out 10 million, you could come and talk to me about expenses, right? Yes, I've tried Signal. What's the other one? Not Signal. Signal. Yeah, Signal. Yeah. I've is it Signal? I'm trying to remember the name. Oh geez, what's the Twilio alternative? I do agree that Twilio is a Signal Wire. There you go. Sorry, I've tried Signal Wire. Like honestly, I went in there. It's cheaper. Like I've done the calculations. It would save me maybe about for the volume that we're doing. It saved me about $30 to $50 a month. And honestly, I'm like, I don't like the UI. I don't like the implementation. I don't like the API. Like it's just too many different things. I find Twilio to at least have because they've been one of the earliest. Their implementation is just a little bit better. Just my opinion about this. So for that reason, I'm like, you know what? I'll just pay the extra money and be done with it. And here's the other way to think about it. If you're doing outreach, SMS outreach, and you're saying that it's too expensive, it probably means that you're thinking about your business too wrong, and you need to rethink what it means to have a like figure out the lifetime value of your customer to be able to recoup that cost. Okay, so in other words, if it's costing you $1, that dollar should be going to your customer at some point. Like you should be able to make that money back from your customer. So maybe we need to think about that a little bit more. I love PWA. So I do as well too. However, most people love to install apps. So you have to have an app in the app store. And like I was saying before, just to go back to that conversation very quickly in case you're new here. Okay. The app that I have is a PWA. This one here. This is a full PWA app that I'm showing you here. Okay. And then what I did was I took the PWA and I removed the header and the footer, and then I wrapped it in a React Native app. Okay. And I did that because the React Native app allows me to, oh shoot, I forgot. Did I fix that problem? Oh my goodness. Anyway, yeah, I forgot I had a stupid problem that I was thinking. But anyway, the React Native app allows me to be able to give the native experience for the site navigation, the header, the footer, whatever cases, and then keep the app sort of like consistent. So I can still deliver updates really fast, but I can still make sure that the user has a native app experience. So just a little bit of caveat there. Wow, you guys are unbelievably asking questions. Okay, hey, sorry, gotta pay attention to the YouTuber. I'm sorry here, Mr. Paparant7500. So have you tried DeepSeek OCR technique? I just screenshot a large MD file and realized them to be 400, 500 pixel width and wrote a Python script to auto do that. Basically 2x lossless compression. That's pretty cool. Um, I haven't actually tried their OCR. Is it good? Like, is it like proper good? Um, I have thoughts on this. Let me answer the one YouTuber that's messaged me right now. I appreciate you, Mr. Paparan. Um, YouTube is still my place in my heart. But let me just answer this question. So I'm gonna say one thing about OCR. So the question, just to make sure everybody understands, he's asking about DeepSeek and OCR, which I actually don't know about. So that's cool. I appreciate you telling me about that. DeepSeek, EKOCR. Um, so OCR is kind of a big thing. I'm gonna check this out for sure. But here's what I can tell you guys with some level of certainty. Let me see how they're comparing it. DeepSeek, Gemini. Okay, so here's the problem. Nobody's comparing this stuff to Microsoft because Microsoft has a technology that nobody knows about, and I'll tell you about it. It's called Microsoft. It's called Microsoft. It used to be called Cognitive Services. Form Recognizer. Okay. They changed the name to AI intelligence and yada yada and all this kind of craziness. Okay. It just goes down a rabbit hole. However, this is by far, and I'm going to stress this is by far the most comprehensive. AWS has an equivalent of this. They're basically trying to catch up with the Microsoft equivalent. I will swear by this. All right. I like AWS. They're cool and every single thing, but this is one area that Microsoft has been doing amazing work on. I'll just do the YouTube video on it. Okay. So what does this thing do? Okay. It extracts forms. Everybody knows how to do that. The AIs can do this right now, but it's not consistent. What this thing has been done is it's been trained on every single North American form very specifically, and it's designed in a way where whenever you extract the content, it actually gives you a JSON equivalent of every single field guarantee. And when I say guarantee, because they've literally you can go in and actually label every single field. Before you had to label it, now you don't. But now it'll actually tell you exactly which every single box is, location, and the JSON equivalent of that, and the coordinates to that PDF for that location. There's no LLM that I've seen right now that's doing this level of granularity. So so I say that with a grain of salt because I'm sharing this with you because so you see here with this document, it's going like super granular. Why? Because from my application, my SnapSuite application, this one here, we have purchase orders that we want to import into the application, and the user has the ability to snap a picture of it to get that purchase order up. We cannot make mistakes on those numbers. They need to be like guaranteed. And if we have any slight doubt about it, it has to go to the user for verification. So the accuracy is extremely important. So I'm going to check out your DeepSeek OCR to do a comparison on it. This is something I'm actually really interested in. But the truth is, if you're like really looking for something solid, do check out that Microsoft implementation of it. It's really good. In fact, I'll drop it in the chat for you just so you can see. It's a little more complex to set up, by the way, but it's solid. Okay. Yeah, pretty good. It's not about OCR. The main technique is about context compact. Oh, okay, I got you. Okay, compact compaction, got you. Check out archive 10F context window. I will check that out. I appreciate you, Mr. Dick. Man, you guys are keeping me busy today. And you know what's funny? I swear on my life, I've been sucking at these live stream because I haven't been posting much in the community. And by the way, if you're new here, I'm just keep repeating myself here. I gotta learn how to repeat myself. If you're new to this, check out the community. I'm gonna jump over to TikTok and answer some questions in a sec. But if you're new here, check out the vibe coding community that I have, 100% free. You guys join, and we could continue this conversation. Share what you're working on. I have a bunch of videos on Cloudflare and entrepreneurship and stuff like that. I got tons more coming. I just been a little bit behind, and I appreciate you guys. Double tap the live as well too. And on YouTube, if you can, just press on the thumbs up button. So, okay, let me just get back to the question. I use VS. You guys are great. Twilio is expensive. Got that one. I use VS Code. Is this how people feel that are popular, where the chat just keeps going on like crazy? This has been the most fun and the most like overwhelming of questions that I've had on this thing so live. So I genuinely appreciate all of you people that are just basically asking and chatting and asking questions here. Visual Studio, like by far my favorite set of tool. 2026, like really proper with the AI now. Like for a while, I was like, oh my goodness, like these guys like really suck. But they really got their act together with the 2026 version, and it's solid. I started using last night. I used Opus 4.6, the latest one, in VS Code 2026, and I refactored. I'm talking like um an app that had more than 200,000 lines of code. I did a whole refactoring. It worked for 45 minutes nonstop. And then when I build it, perfectly, first try. And then ran my tests, no problems, refactored the whole thing. Really, really solid. Like I'm really impressed with what the guys are doing at VS Code. So Dwayne, are you a developer or are you just a vibe coder? I'm anything you want me to be, sir. To answer your question honestly, I'm an actual developer, like a real developer. Worked in. Actually, you know what? Let me put this asterisk. I'm not a real developer in the sense that I'm a computer science trained developer. I'm a self-taught developer. Came out of high school, no formal education in college. Went to just started programming, and then basically learned from graphics design to web design to backend to database to every single thing over the years. Worked for a couple of large companies, started doing consulting, and then built my own startup. And now I have 3 startups that I'm running basically. So that gives you some context of what it is. And now I'm a vibe coder because I don't actually write code today. I just vibe code every single thing. So hopefully that answers your question, Mr. OSL Tech, OLSI Tech. um, it's a remit app. Oh, what do you mean by remit? Like a remittance app, like a like for receipts and stuff like that. Um, I really need help because I have every single thing running. Join the community, and then Mr. K Danso join the community. Message me, and then we could jump into the call and figure out what exactly is happening, and we'll talk about it for sure. Um, but yeah, like how many users do you have? Let's answer that question because I'm kind of curious. If you're saying that Twilio is expensive, right? Like Twilio is $1.15. It's a little bit more expensive than the other one, but that's because you're a little bit better, I would argue. Um, so yeah, you pay more for the phone number, but you use the Twilio Verify services. I've been using it for a thing. I think I saw my bill the other day. It was like $1.50 for the month because it's a brand new app, right? But it was like nothing. Um, so you can also just add shortcuts to the home page on your phone. Yes. So that's what I'm doing, right? Okay. So by the way, geez, man, you guys are killing me with the questions. Love it. By the way, so Affordly, which is the app that I have, what I did because it's a brand new app. When you click on the Get Started for free, I basically literally just have a video that shows them how to get it installed on the phone, thank them for installing it, and show them how to install it on the phone, and walk them through it so they know exactly what to do. That's what I do for now while I'm getting it published to the App Store. And it is, by the way, and I want to actually show you guys the other version of it. I'm going to try to see if I can get that running because I want to actually show you too. Can you run my mobile app and fix any errors so I can get it going? The Expo app. The Expo app. Okay, while that's coming, I'm gonna get it running for you guys so you can think. Okay, let's get into the questions here, and then we gotta chat about something. You can add a shortcut data. So yeah, we got that one. Also add an icon to native in my experience. Yes, we can do that, but I want to make sure that it's properly launched in the App Store as a real app approved by the Apple gods and the iOS Android gods. I hope you have never had to experience Abby. What is this? Abby Flicky Capture? What is that? You gotta tell. Now I'm very curious. What the hell is that? Are you talking about ABBYFLEXICAPTURE? What is that? Abby Flick Capture. Oh, is this the OCR thing? What is this? Enterprise scale document automation powered by AI. Okay. Yeah, definitely not a thing more than intelligence, learning the machine learning, capture global authorization faster. Yeah, this sounds like a headache. Yeah, 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 pretty certain it is. Have you tried open crawl yet? No, I haven't tried open crawl yet, and not because I don't want to. Like I said, I've just been focused on my own crap, and I don't want to have any distractions. So I just kind of decided I'm just gonna just table all these tools. When I get to them, I get to them. And I was showing you the earlier guys before for this week I did 87 hours of pure. I want to stress this: pure actual work on the computer. This is not what I did with my kid or my wife or any single thing else. Um, Pure computer work. My highest day was on Monday. I'm not bragging here, guys. I'm just basically just telling you how focused I have. I've been 70% of my time being programming on in Visual Studio Code for 16 hours straight, 16-hour, 15-hour days, nonstop. So I've abandoned all my YouTube videos. I've abandoned every single thing else. And I'm like, until I deliver this for XYZ customer, I'm not doing any single thing else except for this live stream. So that's the reason why I haven't tried Open Cloud as yet, but I'm planning to thing. Okay, so do you have an idea of LLM I can use for FX trade analyzer? This is probably the only topic where I genuinely can't give you real advice on. I'm very serious about that, and I will always tell you if I don't know something, I don't know it. That being said, though, I would do some research on it. The only thing I could say on this is I've heard that Grok is I've seen a Twitter. You take this with a grain of salt, but Twitter was compared against Open ChatGPT and Claude and whatever cases, and Twitter outperformed on trading, and that's because it was using Grok outperformed on trading because it was using Twitter to get real time insight as they come in to basically inform its trading decisions, and that would give it a slight edge. Take that with a grain of salt. I don't know how true that is. But that's what I've heard so far. Um, so I'm building a tool to generate tech courses. I have MVP ready. Would love to chat on how to market it. Join the community, my friend. Happy to have a chat about that for sure. Grok is good, but not too much timeouts. Okay, so that I don't have too much experience on. Yeah, interesting. I actually don't know because that's an interesting question. That's an interesting question. I'd love to know more about it though. So join the community for sure. Again, I'm not trying to sell you guys any single thing here, guys, but join the community. We can have these conversations a little bit more, and then we could go from there. Um, Hang on a second. What is TikTok telling me now? GIF suspended and live visibility restricted. The behavior is not in our policies. Gifting suspended. Appeal. They keep doing this like every single time. They keep forcing me to like. Okay, hang on a second, guys. I just gotta just answer this one quick thought thing. This notice is unclear, and I still not sure why I got this restriction. My lives does not contain content mentioned in the notice. Yeah, I'm just gonna appeal that. It does that every time. It tells me and I'm gonna think I've used Geek Sticks. Guys, tap the live if you haven't already, and then I gotta pay attention to my YouTubers just to be clear. But listen, it's been wild. The questions you guys have is amazing. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, join the school community. I just joined, drop the chat inside of there. Ask the questions in there. Let's have a dialogue. Exactly this energy that you guys are brought to this afternoon, sort of like conversation, chat, and questions. Um, yeah, bring it into the school community because that's where I want everybody to kind of come together and just kind of learn from each other and feed off of each other's energy and share what you're working on because it's not every I just want to be clear. I don't know everything. I just want to be clear with that. Just in case you guys haven't realized that. I just happen to have a couple startups and I'm working on them in real time. And I'm just solving problems as we go. By the way, for the person that asked me, I forgot who your name was about the OTP. This is the app that has the OTP system. It's using Twilio in the back end. It works rock solid every time, all the time, and I don't have to think about things. So yeah, do that. And I did mention the Google Stitch already. So what were we even talking about? Because before all the flood of questions, all this kind of calmed down a little bit. So I have used OpenAI, Grok, DeepSeek. All deep depends on what you want to build. But Grok is a thing less expensive in terms of performance. So have you tried Cloudflare gateway, AI gateway? FLARE AI gateway. So Cloudflare AI gateway is probably one of the things that you should probably check out. Uh, it has a pretty good price in tier because of the AI gateway, because of the because it's so new, and it's a router. So right, it's a router, and it's a pretty good router, and there's tons of models that you can kind of swap in there pretty fast. But price wise, you can't beat it because it's just it'll give you access to all the same models, but it'll allow you to kind of test at a much faster pace by swapping out the models and kind of doing some comparison and stuff. It's actually pretty good, underrated, under like just nobody knows about it basically, right? I'm a diehard Cloudflare gan, sorry, Cloudflare guy, um, and if because you don't know me much, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have some videos about Cloudflare and what like it literally this video here will tell you it'll compare Cloudflare, Vercel, and so here. So it'll compare Cloudflare to Vercel to AWS. I'll tell you exactly why I use it for what and what's going on. I've used every single one of these things, by the way, and I'm 100% in on Cloudflare, not like 10% or whatever. I'll drop it in the chat so you can check it out. And thing. What if you train your own model? So I wouldn't train my own model at this particular point, based on the fact that RAG, the concept of RAG, retrieval augmented reality or generation, is solving more problems faster than we think it could have solved before. If you remember, there was go back a year ago, right, when the AIs were good, there was like, oh, you could use the general. Oh, look, TikTok has approved my appeal. Great. You could use the general AI, um, tools on the market like ChatGPT, or you could use RAG, basically pull data from your database and then merge it with the AI and then send it to the LLM and then get the results. And that could work so. And then the other way to solve this problem was to basically fine tune and customize your own LLM. Well, fast forward to where we are today, it's been proven consistently that with really, really good prompts and a little bit of RAG, right, pulling data from a database, you could get just as good, if not better, performance as fine tuning your own model. So you have to be in a highly, highly, highly specialized area to justify the cost of fine tuning your own model. Okay, so that's what I would say about that. That being said, though, if you really want to try to experiment with it, I know I keep sounding like a Microsoft fanboy here. I'm not, but check out Microsoft Foundry. Azure AI Foundry is called now. There's so many names. AI Foundry, because they have a way where you could just upload your data into it, choose a model as a baseline, and then basically just literally click generate, and it'll just fine tune a model for you at a pretty fast rate. So definitely recommend this approach. It's nobody knows about this stuff because it's sitting in the enterprise level world, and they think it's very expensive, and it's not. AI Foundry is actually really, really good with this type of stuff. Where I'm using AI Foundry right now, because they just renamed it, so technically I'm using it, is in my mobile app. I have I'm sure all my codes here and every single thing here, but on my mobile app, I have a uh, audio to text translator. Yeah, so voice to audio translator. I don't use the LLM models. I use Azure AI Foundry, which then with RAG to basically get the audio transcription sort of pretty good, and Foundry has been pretty solid with that. And the reason why I'm doing that is because again, my customers are like construction workers. They use all these random terms that like necessarily pretty standard, and so I needed a way to be able to kind of customize those responses. So hang on a second, let me just put my code inside of here. And then I'll get back on track here. 4 7. Lots of questions, guys. I appreciate you guys answering them, asking them. 4 5, 6. There we go. Yeah, so in this app, again, this is a PWA app that you got to kind of look at it from a mobile standpoint else, because it kind of just automatically scales itself to a desktop looking app. But not iPad mini, iPad phone, SR Pro, there we go. Yeah, so this is what it looks like on the mobile. And if you come in here and you click on details and then you scroll down all the way, see this here, it has a audio notes. And if you do a recording, if you start recording, it basically just captures the audio and then sends it up to the cloud. It uses AI Foundry in the background to do the processing. It's by far one of the more accurate thing that I've done. And it's not true AI in the modern world as we know it with LLMs. It's really machine learning, hyper focus on this specific task with AI sprinkled around it and on top. Hey Dwayne, I use RAG, but the problem with RAG is you need a solid RAG verifier. Okay, then AI Foundry is your place. So okay, let me just tell you a little bit, and then I'll get to the next question, Mr. Salvan. So AI Foundry. Okay, again, I sound like a Microsoft fanboy here. I do use a lot of Microsoft tools, but I'm a believer in the best tool for the best job. And Microsoft has been leading this space for a while silently. They suck at marketing, so nobody knows about these tools. That's why I'm telling you about it. This is how I feel about Cloudflare also. I'm a diehard fan of Cloudflare. On AI Foundry, when you use RAG, so you can set up your whole RAG system, and then there's a whole section in there that you could go and do evaluations. And you could train the AI. It has a way for you to kind of train the AI on what the outcome should be for the evaluations. And then you could run versions of the fine tuning, and it'll compare that against your valuation to tell you which ones of your training model is coming out on top. It has a whole system for doing this, and it's the most intuitive system that I've seen, because Microsoft was spending time on this way back when nobody was really thinking about this stuff, because they're dealing with enterprise, and now they've just kind of distilled it down to more consumer facing people, which is really just enterprise people, right? So check that out for sure. Highly recommend it. And the price point is a neck and neck with any other provider that you could think about. In fact, with OpenAI, if you're in Microsoft Foundry, they charge you the exact same price as if you went directly to ChatGPT or OpenAI. But OpenAI doesn't have the sophistication of that tool. I mean, they're building it out slowly, but they don't have. They're not to the level of Microsoft yet. So a little bit more complexity. But if you're looking for that granularity in terms of validating and fine tuning and then validating with a baseline, Foundry has solved this problem like a year and a half ago. Okay. Okay. Hey Dwayne, what's up? Good. Vibe coding an app using ChatGPT and Replit. Any advice? What are you building? I guess is the question. And if you and are you a tech person? If you are a tech person, then the advice is basically to focus on the marketing. If you are a non-tech person, then the advice would be to focus on the fundamentals, and that's where my school community. I sound like a salesperson, I swear. Join my school community in here. If you're not a tech person, I have a course inside of here. It's called Foundations 101. I'm proud of this course because most people that are technical don't talk on this level about technology. Okay, and I wanted to make a course that was so simple that if you knew nothing about computers, like just like email and whatever, you could watch this course and really go from this to vibe coding a real production level app. That was my goal with it. So go check it out. https:// oops, I have the wrong link here. Okay, let's try that again. I'm a non-technical person, but I'm guessing learning a lot of technology is harder. I'm a non-technical person, but I guess I'm learning a lot of the terminology is hard. Okay, great. You're my audience. Okay, Solomon, go into my school community, click on Classroom, click on Vibe Coding. Foundations 101. Okay, it literally, and I want to be clear with this. This is not like you spend crazy hours. This is 6 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, right? 11 minutes, 8 minutes, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, right? Like very, very short courses that covers really complex topics in the most simple way I possibly can describe it. And here's my commitment to you. if you go in here, you watch this, and things still don't make sense, you message me, you tell me exactly what doesn't make sense to you, and I will do a course specifically for you on it. I promise you that. That is my word to you, because I believe that I can solve this problem of distilling extremely complex topics down to simplest format. I feel like people on the internet, they just, everybody gets get caught up in their own, their own bubble, including myself, by the way. But I've been really, really focused on trying to make things simple. That being said, though, after that, go watch the Cloudflare 101. I literally walk you through how to like register a domain name on Google, point it to Cloudflare, upload your files to Cloudflare, and literally launch your first website. And then from there, it goes really advanced into like more advanced stuff to show you how to like build out a really complex, scalable application. So when I say I'm starting from zero, I literally mean it. Okay, so go check it out, Mr. Solomon. We'll go from there. Would you be interested in testing my tool? It builds tech courses on the fly. 100%, man. I'm more than happy to test it out. Like I said, join the community, message me inside of their thing. And by the way, there's people in the community that would be interested in testing your stuff as well too. So but 100%. In fact, I plan to evaluate course thing. Right now I'm using School Community because I like their platform. Well, I kind of like their platform. There's some things I'd like to see change, but it's okay. But I'm happy to explore it and play with it and give you my feedback, etc. Listen, so just to be clear, I've been on this live for, what is it, an hour and 48 minutes. There's only 4 people inside of here. At one point we had like 10 or 11 or whatever it is, and I think that's because TikTok started cutting me down. By the way, if you guys could just double check on the like button, because I have to boost back the algorithms because of thing. It's been nonstop. I feel like the people on YouTube, which I apologize for, don't even know what the hell's going on, because there's like a whole lot of world in TikTok here. So I do apologize for that. Hopefully you get some value on YouTube. That being said, though, let me just kind of try to get back to the basics. No problem, guys. I'm happy to help. Let me just get back to the basics of why. Like I said, I've been kind of doing this for a while, right? Like like I said, for the people that are new, I have 3 different apps that I've developed. One is my construction software. The other one is my thing software. And just to give you some idea from a price point standpoint, okay, just so you understand the differences. SnapSuite is on $350 per month is my lowest tier. $950 a month is my higher tier, and then I have customers that are paying higher than that. Okay, so I'm going from this to a B2B app, which I'm charging at most on most people will be free, and then if you're like making more than 120,000 per year, I charge you $1 per month. That's how crazy it is in terms of my pricing. And the reason for doing this is because they're completely different markets with completely different goals, completely different thing. The point is that you have to understand your market to figure out how to charge. Okay, I would never charge construction people in the construction industry $1 per month. It would be stupid, right? They make more money, so they value my product more. And the problems that I'm solving for them are worth significantly more. Okay, my smallest, just to give you some idea, my smallest customer that's on my $350 a month plan does about $2 million per month in sorry, not per month, per year in revenue. Okay, so like $350 per month is like nothing for them, right? That's like it's like 6,000 a year or whatever it is, if I'm got my maths correctly. Okay, so it's absolutely nothing for them to pay that, where one of their bill pays for my like one line item pays for my entire month of service. So it's a no-brainer at this kind of price point. That being said, though, on the flip side, this is a consumer app. It's people that are doing budgeting. Generally, if you're doing budgeting, you're trying to conserve money, so you're very price sensitive. So me charging you $5 or $6 or $7 a month, you're probably not going to use my app, right? So I have to think about a very different business model. And the business model, just to educate you a little bit on this, the business model that I have for this particular app is free for most people. If you're making $120,000 a year, it's 100% free. But on the back end, I will have affiliate deals with credit card companies for different types of credit cards, teaching you how to reduce your debt and all this type of stuff. And I'll make deals with the banks and the other people in the back because guess what? They want to sell to you. And my goal is hope is that the app will educate you on how you can reduce your debt and save money, but still benefit by using these services. And I will get a cut on the back end, right? So yeah, 100%, man. DM me. You can DM me, but join the community because I'm join the community. That's the best place to think, Mr. OLSI Tech, right? You could DM me directly on TikTok if you want. I'm a little bit slower on TikTok, but oh, how to join? It's funny. I say this like 100 times, but still. Okay, hang on. I'll give you the link right now. So join the community. Message me in the community. You could DM me in the community because then I have a platform that I could properly go back and forth. And I like the questions to be public for the most part. It doesn't have to be if it's like a real private stuff, but so that other people could benefit from it, right? So that's the whole purpose here. Is like we can learn together, we can share together, etc. So good question. But yeah, where are we? Okay, so yeah, I finished bragging about how many hours I work. So the point is that you kind of like the number one problem. I keep running back to this here. The number one problem, and I'm working on a course specifically on it. I'm just really slow right now on it. Is educating you on how to sell because it's frankly just a problem. You have to learn how to do at least some basic Facebook ads and stuff like that. But that's not even the game. You have to learn how to come up with an offer. If you don't know, this is my guy here, Alex Hormozy. Okay, everybody knows him that's in the startup world or in the AlexHormozi. Hey man, great job, love you. What you do? I'd love to have a Zoom. Yeah. Join the community. There's a link inside of there. You'll know exactly how to join my thing. You literally you go in there. Okay, you watch this video. If you're new here to the community, start here. Okay, watch this video. And this video will tell you what I am, what it's about, and it literally will tell you where to get the link to join my to do a Zoom call. Like it just I'm deliberately pushing you through that path because I want to make sure that we don't repeat ourselves, right? By the time I'm talking to you, you already have a good foundation, so we can have a more advanced conversation, if you will. Else I'll just keep repeating myself over and over. That's the only reason why, right? But it's not. I'm not telling you to do any single thing crazy. It's like literally go watch this 2 minutes video and then basically just understand. OLSI, thank you, appreciate you. I'll talk to you later on. Have yourself a wonderful day. So yes. Okay, this is definitely new for me on the internet, having to talk to like multiple people simultaneously. So the truth is, I'm like I don't even know where I'm at in my brain on what I wanted to deliver value for you guys. If you're sticking around here, I appreciate you because now I just feel like I'm rambling. But I do have a couple points that I wanted to kind of make. So we'll talk about it. Give me a second. Sorry, coming over from a cold. There's this okay, so what I really wanted to kind of chat about, and I'll take the last couple of minutes and just kind of talk about it. There's this thing called the trough of disillusionment. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about it. THROUGH T of DISOLLUSION. I think it's called disillusion. It's so it's trough of disillusion, coined by this thing, and it's this idea. Okay, it's a really interesting concept that if you're new to the business of like running a startup, you don't really know about it because nobody teaches you it. Jeez, how do you? Oh my goodness. Okay, all these damn things. Okay, let me see if I can just make it bigger. Open a new tab. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There's this thing we call the trough of disillusion. Okay. And in fact, let me just do one more thing. I'm just gonna put it in mirror so I can just draw on top of it. Oh, I don't have my okay. So what is this? What is this whole trough of disillusion? Okay. It's something that it like you have to really understand when you're in business. This took me so long to understand. Okay, like legit long to understand. So here's what happened. when you start your business, okay, it's like, oh, I have this idea, I'm going to cure cancer. Or, oh, I have this idea, I'm going to build this app and it's going to basically like solve all these problems and it's going to think and I'm going to make money and I'm going to be rich, right? And so you start building, and maybe you get a couple people to sign up for your app. Like I'm fast forwarding this conversation, right? And you're building, it's working out, and you get a couple, trial people or whatever to deal with, and you get to the top of the hill, and you feel like you've solved something. Like you feel like you've like, oh, I'm doing this. I can make this happen. If I just continue this, I'll make $1 million or $1 billion or however your goal is, right? But then something starts to happen. The problem starts to hit. Oh, the app is not working correctly. Oh, customers are upset about things. Oh, I'm not finding any customers. Oh, we're having server outage problems. Like the list just goes on and on and on. Oh, I'm running out of money, right? Oh, the employee, like I need help with like building the app. Oh, I don't know how to, like it just goes on and on and on and on. And you get into this slope. But this slope here is what we call the trough of disillusionment. And in plain English, all it means is this is the moment in time in your business where you're really just frustrated. Yeah, like you're just frustrated. Okay. Because you haven't figured out how to actually sell. All right. And so most people go here, and this is where 90% of the startups they just die. They just die. Okay. That's why there's a stats that says 90% of startup founders they get here and they just die. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to get past this trough of disillusionment, right? Trough of disillusionment. And in order to do that, you kind of have to learn. You have to learn, and you have to unlearn some of the things that you learned previously, and then learn it over again. And the things that you have to learn are sales, right? Uh, you have to learn how to manage people. You have to learn go to market GTM, right? You have to learn how to find product market fit, product product market fit, PMF or whatever, right? So these are all things that you have to kind of learn, and it just takes time for you to learn it. And the reality is that the faster you learn it, the better for you from a business standpoint. But the truth is, nobody teaches you it, at least in my opinion, because it took me really a long time through a bunch of courses and all kinds of stuff to kind of figure this out. But it's just not standard knowledge. And what ended up happening is you end up giving up. And just my story, just to lay my trough of disillusion, this, just to be clear, this could be like 1 year, this could be like 1 month, or it could be like 3 years, it could be 5 years. My trough of disillusion were like 10 years. Okay, like just a really, really long time of struggling. And it's only now, I promise you guys, I'm not trying to BS you here. It's only now I'm getting out on the other side. I'm learning properly how to do things. And my goal is not to make you have to spend that 10 years learning this problem, like how to solve it. And now I clearly understand, oh, I know what I have to do. I need to partner with this company. I need to do it. Like I just clearly understand it. No, you could argue that I'm stupid and I just didn't, whatever. But the point is that it's a really, really hard thing to um, to be able to figure out. But once you figure it out, you can make things happen. So I just want to kind of share that thing, because I'm going to try to do some very specific videos on my channel specifically around this, because this is the thing that I'm seeing that's killing people the most, and this is the thing that people are having issues about. And so I just want to make sure that if if you are having this problem, like how do you think about the problems, how do you solve it, how do you kind of go about. So yeah, like that's so I wanted to talk about that for a bit. If you guys got questions about it, just let me know. And then sort of like the different life cycles of a business. So Alex Hormozi, I want to go back to this Alex Hormozi thing. This guy is just, man, Alex Hormozi, what is it called? Of course, I didn't put the link in my chat. I always supposed to put the link in there, and I haven't. Actually, you know what? I have the link here. I know where to find it. So Alex Hormozi has a what do you call it? Oh my goodness! Not a chat. I'll find it for you first, and then I'll talk about it, because my brain is. This is by far one of the best resources that I've found. Okay. This guy has mapped out for every stage of a company what stage you are, what problems you're going to have, and what you need to be thinking about to go to the next step. This is golden territory. And what's crazy, it's not even behind a paywall. It's just open on the internet for free. Like you could just click. So if you never run a business before, it literally just tells you what you need to do to get to the next step. And then if you have basically if you run a company and you have like a little bit of traction, it tells you exactly what to do to the next step. And if you get to like 1 to 4 employees, right, it shows you exactly what you need to be thinking about to move on to the next step. This is by far the best resource that's completely hidden. Like I can't stress how amazing this content is, and it's just there open for free. Alex Ramosi is by far one of the best entrepreneurs that just give value like there's nobody's business. Like I've never seen anybody that gives very much value than him. So anyway, the point is that in his Alex Ramosi guide, he kind of helps you to jump over this trough of disillusionment without talking about it. Okay, because most people, they end up getting stuck in that zone, and it really, like, if you get stuck here as an entrepreneur, it could take you a really long time to get out. But not only that, it drags you down, it drags your family down, it drags all the people around you down. Like it just, there's so many things that like it just just goes wrong. And if you're not careful, you could fall into a state of depression. Like it's just so this here is why I built my community. It's literally the reason why I built the community, so that we can have these conversations and chat and talk about um, real, actual problems that you're going through and figure things out. So anyway, hopefully that's helped you guys. I want to say that this has been just an amazing chat. I like. There's lots of work that I have to do in the community, but if you haven't already, and I haven't said it enough, join the community. For anybody that's new, I gotta keep doing this because I have to remind myself that people join the chat and then they disappear and then join again, disappear. So join the community if you haven't. It's my vibe coding community where basically just kind of you know share in depth, very specific knowledge about Cloudflare and how to build a company and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's basically what it is. But anyway, I digress. I'm gonna spend some time based on the questions. There was quite a few questions in the chat today, so it was all over the place. It kind of got me a little bit jumbled in my thought process. But I'm gonna basically how would I describe it? I'm gonna try to distill a lot of these questions. I'm gonna put it in the community, and then going forward, I'll have a Q&A section, so I can kind of point people to those questions that they're asking. Because yeah. So okay, I think I'm going to close off for today, because the truth is I'm completely derailed from what I originally intended to talk about. If there's no other questions, there's not many people inside of here anymore. And so next week, what I think I'm going to kind of focus on is we're going to be doing a soft launch for Affordly. So I want to walk people through how to actually do like an actual soft launch, so we could test things a little bit more. So we're gonna go through that process. I'm going to be trying to be a little disciplined about showing you very specific tactical things that you could do to kind of get your product off the ground. And again, I'm doing this for myself. I just happen to be documenting the process for other people. All right. So I'm going to take a break. I'm going to close off early today because of the fact that one, I had like an overwhelming amount of people that actually joined and asked me questions, and two, I'm all over the place. So I'm not like formalized in the conversation, because I had a list of things I wanted to get through and I got completely derailed. So it don't make sense to kind of start that conversation now. We're just going to basically continue tomorrow. Plus, it'll give me a little bit of time before my kid comes home. So with that, it's been a pleasure. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. I'm going to distill it and put it on my actual YouTube channel. And I will see you guys in another video Next week, we're here every Friday, 1 p.m. to 3:34. I'm going to put now because I'm closing off a little bit early. Normally I'd say 4, but today we're closing off a little bit early. We only did a 2-hour stream today. So with that, have yourself a wonderful day, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.